guys, Danny here. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a review on Dracula by Bram Stoker. Okay, so first off, yes, I got a copy of Dracula, finally. I talked about it a while ago, that I actually read Dracula through school for my English class, and I loved it. Funny story about that, I actually probably have already said this, but so I had to read it and I had to do a report on it, and I think I finished the book and did the entire report the day before I had to present it to the class. So that happened. Anyways, I just went on a trip and I went to Barnes & Noble and I managed to find this beautiful copy of Dracula. Like, it's so nice, it's so pretty, and it looks like this naked, and I love it. It is so gorgeous. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, which, how could you know, it's Dracula, it's pretty well known, but those of you who don't know, it's basically about the main character, Jonathan Harker, who, what does he do? He's like a house marketer type thing, but like old time. Anyway, so he travels to Transylvania and he has to get in touch with Count Dracula to help Count Dracula move and do all this like financial stuff and house plans and stuff like this. He's basically like an architect, but like very old-fashioned. So he goes, and when he is at Count Dracula's mansion, or castle, or whatever you want to call it, he starts to discover some really weird things about the man. Well, not only that he looks weird, but it's like, oh, he's only out at night, he never eats, he doesn't show up in mirrors, like, what is this? And, you know, for all of us now, we're like, vampire, he's a vampire, but Jonathan Harker's like, I don't know what this guy is, he's probably just really weird. And then it kind of goes from there, and it has Jonathan and all the other characters trying to destroy Dracula. So I'm just gonna talk, that's like the main plot. I'm gonna talk about the characters. So there's Jonathan Harker. Jonathan Harker is amazing. He is my boy. I love Jonathan Harker. Oh, by the way, this entire book is told in journal entries and like newspaper entries. So it's basically like when Jonathan is at Count Dracula, like, see, it says like Jonathan Harker's journal. So the whole thing is like he's telling day by day what he remembers, and then everyone else is telling what they remember through like letters and their own journal entries. So that's how the story is told. So Jonathan, he's so pure, he's so strong, he cares so much about his wife Mina, and I'm just like, oh my god, this man, I have things written about him. He's a very, very admirable character. He's not selfish. He's not selfish in any way. He does everything for the safety of Mina and others, and I really, really loved him, and he was like, oh, he just pulled on my heartstring. And then there's Mina, who, although slightly problematic, some stuff that she does is slightly problematic, but you can also put that to being under the influence of Dracula for some of it, because that kind of played into it a little. So that's when she was a little bit problematic, but other than that, she's so strong, and she is so fearless, and she's like, yeah, I got this, guys. I got this. You want me to be bait for Dracula? I'm in. Let's do it. Like, you know, she is great. And then there's Dracula, who actually, Dracula is not in it as much as you think he is. Literally, he's in it for like the first portion, and then makes like little appearances. But it's mostly, the book focuses mostly on the other characters trying to defeat him. So it's like, sorry, it's like Jonathan and Mina and Dr. Can't remember his name. I wrote it. I read this a while ago. Jonathan Harker, Mina. There's Mina's friend Lucy. There's Lucy's husband. There's another doctor that I can't remember. Dr. Seward. There's Dr. Seward, and then there's Reinfeld, Dracula's little creepy guy, who is actually very well written, very scary. Okay, I think overall my favorite thing about this was probably the love story. This is really weird. It's about Dracula, and it's like, okay, all like vampires, let's get some scary. It's supposed to be like a classic horror novel as Dracula. I was in it for the love story between Jonathan Harker and Mina Harker. Oh my god, OTP. They are so cute together, and I cannot believe that their love story has not been talked about a lot more when it comes to classic novels. Like, people go, oh, there's Romeo and Juliet, or like the OTP of like literature. It's like, but what about Jonathan and Mina? Jonathan and Mina are amazing. They would do anything for each other, and they fight for each other, and they just love each other so much, and they're so pure together, and I love it. There's this one scene where Dracula has just attacked Mina, and Jonathan was unconscious the entire time because Dracula knocked him unconscious, and everyone's trying to save Mina and whatever, and Dracula leaves, and Mina is like bleeding from her neck, and Jonathan wakes up and he's like, oh my god, what happened? And he's like, I should have been awake, I should have been able to help you. And they're like holding each other as Mina is trying to explain what is happening, like what had just happened to her. And as Mina is explaining, Jonathan is just being crushed by everything that has happened, and she is comforting him. Like, she just basically got her entire neck torn out by a vampire, and she is comforting her husband because he is in despair over what happened to her, and it's like, oh my god, why isn't this talked about more? Like, this is... it's so cute. I love it. I can't really talk that much about the end because like I said, I read it a while ago and I was speed reading. I was like, oh my god, I need to do a presentation on this tomorrow, like blah 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 blah. Listening to audiobooks in the shower on YouTube, trying to finish Dracula. Like, it was insane. So I'm gonna have to read it again. I have it in my book jar that I'm like, you know what, I gotta read this again because I don't remember most of it because I was like trying to get it done for school. But now I have my own copy and now I can actually do that, and I'm really happy about that. I think the only other thing that I want to talk about is these two quotes that I have from this book that were like my favorite quotes ever. First one is, as you love me and he loves me, and I love you with all the moods and tenses of the verb, I send you simply his love instead. Goodbye, my dearest Lucy, and all blessings on you. Like, I just thought that it was just very, very beautifully written, and I especially love when it says, I love you with all the moods and tenses of the verb. I thought that that's just very, very beautiful. Like, who came up with that? Like, that's a love. That is love right there. You just described it. I was so happy with that. Next one, I think this is one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's, their eyes met instead of their lips, and so they parted. I love it because it has so many different meanings, and it's a metaphor, and it's beautiful. Like, tattoo this on my body. Actually, I'm probably gonna get that tattooed one day. I'll design something like super nice, and I'll be like, you know what, it's from Dracula, and I'm gonna tattoo it on my body. So overall, I really, really enjoyed reading Dracula. It's about time that I read it. Like, come on, it's Dracula. So if you have not read Dracula, I really, really suggest reading it. It's a really It's very well written. It's kind of hard to get into. Not that it's like slow or the writing's bad. It's just a lot. It's just a lot to take in and a lot to consume. That's why it's hard to get into. But I would really suggest reading it. And overall, I think I gave it a 5 stars, 5 out of 5. So yes. Okay, so that's really all I have to say about Dracula. So next week for my book related video, I am going to be doing a discussion on Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. That one's going to be a fun discussion. And then there's going to be another writing video next week. Sometime maybe this week or next week I will hopefully put out an art video. I have one done. I have one filmed. I just need to like edit and do all that fun stuff that comes with making videos, so I have to do that, but hopefully that'll be out soon. So please comment what you found in this video, and please subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every Tuesday, and I am Ardania, and thank you so much for watching.